The only reason I can think of that a tattoo artist would feel so emotional, so strongly against AI is that you are threatened by it, that you feel in some way the advent of AI and that other artists using AI is either a threat to you or it is invalidating you and your hard work and your skill in some way. So let's explore that. One of the reasons I wanted to make a podcast about money, business for tattoo artists, and do any kind of financial education in general for artists in general is that we have a hard time talking about money. And there are a lot of emotions that come up that distort our actions, our relationship, our perception of money, of business. And that has a negative impact on the artists themselves that obviously have to use money as a part of their life, of their business. And so I want to have conversations that people have a hard time having. I want to talk about the things that people have a hard time talking about. And right now, the topic of AI in tattooing is one of those topics. I'm going to just say off the bat, I am biased, okay? I see a lot of opportunity in AI for tattoo artists, so I'm going to talk from that perspective. I do want to bring some facts to the table, though. One, AI does hurt the environment. Two, it is taking references from other artists out there and it's using that in what it creates. And three, if you think it's cheating, I don't know, it's quicker. Let's just say that it's quicker. So we're going to talk about these things and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I want to really share the data and the numbers to really shed some light on what is it. But ultimately, I want to answer the question, which is, should tattoo artists really be afraid of AI? Is the obvious strong emotions and sometimes anger about AI, is it really warranted or is something else really at play? Now, I have posted some content using AI on a handful of occasions, and every single time I do, I get lots of hate in the comments. I get people booing me and saying all kinds of things. And ultimately, I lose a lot of followers every time. So I don't know who's going to listen to this podcast. My hope is that if you're against the idea of AI, great, that's fine. But I think we shouldn't just be against something without actually looking at like the facts and contemplating it. And if you're for AI, great, and you want to use it, well, maybe if people are judging you about it, maybe this episode will give you some real talking points that you can use to say, hey, look, it's not necessarily this or that, but here's the deal. The whole purpose of this episode is to educate tattoo artists on what is AI, what is it really doing, what is the real impact, and give you some information to just help you make a better decision. And if at the end of this podcast, you still hate AI and you think that it needs to be destroyed and it's the devil and all the stuff that I hear in the comments, great. That's perfectly fine. I just thought I'd do an episode on the other taboo topic that is in tattooing right now, besides money, which heavily seems to be AI. So there's three things I want to talk about today. One is the stealing part. It's stealing images from other artists. It's plagiarizing. It's doing that. Let's talk about that. The second one is it's cheating. It's literally taking something that, someone learns the skill of drawing over decades, and then it's able to do this thing. And is it really cheating to use AI? And three, the environmental impact. Those seem to be the three biggest arguments against AI. So I thought I would talk about those for a little bit. Let's actually just start with the environmental impact real quick, because I just want to get that one out of the way. Yes, absolutely. AI does have an environmental impact. It is using a lot of energy. It does have CO2 emissions that are in the hundreds of millions of terawatts. But what about when we compare it to other things that use energy, like social media and streaming services and transportation and fashion and the internet as a whole? Let's take a look at what the numbers say. So I'll preface this by, I did use AI to get the data, and now AI is just, again, sourcing from other places where it gets its information from. It is one of the quickest ways to do that. So if we were to just compare the usage of AI to social media and video streaming in terms of terawatts of energy that it's using per year. AI is using about 100, I think it's 100,000 terawatts per year, versus social media, which is using closer to 300, and video streaming. If you watch videos on Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, whatever, you are contributing to a greater source of energy consumption than AI. So if you want to get on some high horse and talk down about the energy consumption of AI, you also have to acknowledge what are the other things that you also take part in that actually have a bigger impact on the environment than AI itself. Now, it's growing rapidly, obviously, but so is everything else. The way you get from A to B is faster in a car than it is by walking or taking a bike. The way you get information is faster using AI than it is doing all the research yourself. So really all we're talking about is we're using energy to do something faster than we could if we didn't use that energy. That's really what we're talking about, Social media, it's obviously necessary for businesses these days, and that's a big part of what I teach. But at the same time, there's a lot of unnecessary reasons why we use social media. There's a lot of unnecessary video streaming usage. There's a lot of unnecessary AI usage. So we can really get on that, screw AI because it uses all this energy. But let's compare it to cars and transportation, which when you compare it to there, AI ain't even showing up on the graph when you compare it to cars. And have you ever driven somewhere you probably could have walked? Maybe it would have taken you 15 to 20 minutes to walk there, but instead you drove there because it took 5 minutes, or it was just easier, or you used air conditioning when you didn't really need to. You really have to get and look and see that the danger to the environment is not technology, it's human beings. And the more human beings there are, the more damage we're going to end up doing to the environment. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong or good or bad. I'm just saying you're not some environmental criminal because you used AI. And there are many other reasons why someone could argue that your lifestyle, even though you don't use AI, could very well be more detrimental to the earth, to the environment, than someone that does use AI because of many other factors. So before you get on your high horse and you judge another tattooer and you say, hey, you're destroying the environment, AI is the devil because of energy consumption or impact to the environment, let's look at the data first and really see, farming and agriculture. Do you eat meat? If you eat meat, you're destroying the environment more than someone that uses AI casually or, for their business. So I'm sure that topic can be debated in depth even further. And I'm sure someone out there is going to come up with, some debate against that. But again, I'm just zooming out, broad strokes, big picture. Yes, AI is bad for the environment, but so is everything else. And everything else is actually worse for the environment than AI. So that's that argument. Second is it's stealing from other artists. Okay. And then we're going to get on to cheating. Is AI stealing? Well, what isn't stealing? Like all of those traditional tattoos that have been drawn, where did those references come from? They came from people that drew them before you. There's nothing original about them. All those Japanese tattoos, all black and gray realism is taking its reference from some other artist that did it that way at some point. There's a book called Steal Like an Artist where the author talks about how really there is nothing that is fully, wholly original. That every original quote unquote idea or piece of art that you make is really inspired and imbued with the influence from something else that happened prior to it. And the goal is, you shouldn't make the goal to never copy anyone else. That's not the goal, because that's really truly impossible. But the goal should be to take that influence and really be inspired to create something that is your own unique expression of that. So Austin Kleon, I think I'm saying that right, he's the author of Steal Like an Artist. And there's a quote in the book, he says, if you copy from one author, it's plagiarism. If you copy from many, it's research. If you just straight up take someone else's design, yes, you're copying them. But if you see, a certain way that someone draws a skull, I mean, how many people pretty much just copied Grimes' style of drawing skulls? I know I did, and I think so many tattoo artists out there did. Now, did I straight up print it out and trace his lines? No. But I liked the way he exaggerated certain aspects of the features of skulls. I thought that looked fucking sick, and I wanted to take that and do my own thing with it. And I absolutely did that, and so many other tattoo artists. You can almost see, if you look in like the tattoo magazines, when Grime came into the scene and really hit hard with those 6 skulls, and then, months later, every other tattoo artist is doing the same thing. Did anyone hate on that? No. Was it obvious where their influence came from? Yeah. And some of those people had no idea that they were drawing a Grime skull, because they were copying or being influenced by someone else who was influenced by Grime skulls, right? And Grime himself saw something somewhere that influenced him to create that type of a style. And that's the difference between copying and emulating. He was emulating something and other people emulated him. And that's just art. That's creativity. When you use a Google reference, you are copying something from someone. Now, the difference between AI and using a Google reference is, on Google, you're using the same copied reference that thousands of other tattoo artists have used. But if you create your own reference, and this is ultimately how AI is meant to be used, if you create your own reference on AI, you are using a unique image reference that no one else has, that no one else has used before, then it's easier for you to create something original. When you've seen a tattoo artist and you're like, everyone's used that rose, or everyone used that gorilla head reference. You know the one I'm talking about. Like, everyone, that angle and the nostrils, and it's like, well, what if you could create your own gorilla head or lion head, or reference for a tree branch or a flower that no one else has used before? If you had to pick between using a reference that everyone has used and a reference that no one has used before, which one would you pick? Of course, you'd pick the reference that no one else has used before. That's what AI is doing. That's what AI is giving you the opportunity to do, is create a reference that has never been used before by anyone else. It is unique to you, and then you can use that to inspire your artwork. Now, do you want to just copy and trace every last element of that AI rose, flower, animal reference? Hell no. You want to then take it and do your own thing with it. So apparently 88% of listeners have not left a review or subscribed. And I'm going to get right back to the podcast in just a second. But if you have found this episode helpful and you think that other people would benefit from listening, then all I ask in return is please just leave a quick review and subscribe. It'll take just 1 minute, and it might help other tattooers and other artists find this podcast and help them out. So please, it would mean the world to me, and it might actually make a difference for someone else. Thanks. And that's how skilled, talented artists like Jeff Cavazos, I don't know if I'm saying that one right, Jeff_Cavasshole on Instagram. He has led several seminars on creating references using AI. He is an insanely talented tattoo artist and illustrator. And in no way is he using AI as a crutch, or is he relying on AI to be able to create amazing tattoos. No. He's not dependent on it. He's using it as a tool to create references that no one else has, that he can use to create tattoos that no one else has seen before. What's wrong with that? Seriously, tell me, what's wrong with that? I can't find anything wrong with that. And then there's Garrett Rautia, I don't know if I'm saying his name, but GarrettRautio on Instagram. He also teaches multiple seminars, and he's been tattooing for fucking ages. He's taught many seminars on how to use Midjourney and AI to create your own references. Again, we're using it as a tool to do something faster than we could do without that tool. That's all AI is. Now, for anyone that says it's cheating, is AI cheating? Well, let's consider an artist that creates an image on AI, okay? And they trace every element of it. They trace all the lines, okay? And they put the stencil on the skin. If that artist doesn't know how to draw, are they going to do a good tattoo? Probably not. Even if they copied every last angle and line and shadow, that was created in AI, and they just put the stencil on, perfect stencil, and they looked at the reference the entire time, and they themselves didn't know how to draw. They weren't a skilled artist to begin with. AI ain't going to just turn someone that doesn't know how to tattoo and doesn't know how to draw into a skilled tattoo artist. So is it really cheating? No, you still have to put in all the work. So this is where I don't understand why are tattoo artists feeling so emotional, so strongly about AI. The only reason I can think of that a tattoo artist would feel so emotional, so strongly against AI is that you are threatened by it, that you feel in some way the advent of AI and that other artists using AI is either a threat to you or it is invalidating you and your hard work and your skill in some way. So let's explore that. If another tattoo artist uses AI to create designs and their clients are happy with it, and they're happy with the tattoos that that tattoo artist does that have anything to do with you? Does that have anything to do with the art that you make? Does that have anything to do with your relationship with your clients? Is it better? Is it worse? Is it good? Is it bad? It's none of those things. It has nothing to do with you. But you're threatened by it, and that's why you feel so strongly against it. And I get it. The new things, new technology that we don't understand, it can feel threatening. What if someone does what I do better and faster and cheaper than I do it, and then I can't make money to live? Like, that would be the threat, right? I don't think you have to be afraid of that, because whether you choose to use AI or not, you can't mimic, you can't copy, you can't cheat your way into creating authentic, powerful artwork. There is just no way to do it. You can create great references, and you can create unique references that no one else has used before. And even if you were to try to trace those references, you still can't cheat your way. There are no shortcuts in art. And now I know I said that using AI can make things quicker, but it's just going to make it quicker to get to the powerful expression that you have to create. And that is what you can't cheat. And if it took you longer to get there or shorter to get there because you used AI, is that really a cheat code? No. You're just using a tool. If you use electrical tattoo machines, right, or you use hand-poked tattooing, one is quicker than the other. If you use a large needle grouping or a small needle grouping, right, you're going to get that black filled in quicker because you're using the right tool for the right job. Is that a shortcut? No. It's just using a tool. That's it. And that's all AI is. So is it stealing? I mean, not any more stealing than anything that's existed prior to it. It's able to do it in a little bit of a more methodical way than you Googling. But even if you Google right now, you want to go and Google things, Google's using AI. Let's talk about what AI is actually doing for environment, right? AI is making farming and agriculture more efficient. So one of the biggest impacts on the environment that is creating the most CO2 and harmful, to the environment gases, it's actually creating more efficiency so that it does less harm, it does less damage. It is able to help track poachers. They're using AI-powered drones to track poachers and sounds in the jungle and in Africa and all these places where there's a lot of poaching to better handle poachers and to save animals' lives. They're using it to optimize food chain and distribution so that we don't have to waste, a truck delivering one tiny package going 6,000 miles because it hasn't been optimized. So they're able to use AI in ways to create more efficiency, which is ultimately going to reduce the amount of waste and burden that we have on the environment overall. So yes, is it initially creating some damage? Absolutely. If it can outweigh the amount of damage it causes, if it can reduce that amount or more in other industries that are causing more damage to the environment, then overall the net impact on the environment is a positive impact, even if itself is costing electricity and burning CO2. If it means that a tattoo artist can not fucking burn themselves out trying to draw 3 back pieces in a week because they can get compositions and references faster and better and quicker than they could if they were just, running up against their, you get into like burnout, like brain fog, like creative block, right? AI can help you move through that creative block. What's wrong with that? If you yourself are a talented, skilled illustrator and tattoo artist, and you're simply using this tool as a way, not a crutch, and you're not dependent on it and not reliant on it, but you're simply using it as a way to create references easier and faster and better than anyone else can get using Google or books or wherever else. So that's more or less my take on AI. I think anytime people in general, let alone tattooers, now tattooers tend to be a very sensitive demographic, myself included, but anytime people get overly emotional and highly against something, you want to pause. You just want to slow down. It doesn't mean it's wrong or it's bad, but you do want to slow down. It could be something truly evil that people need to get into an uproar about, but just slow down and just ask yourself, hey, wait a second, why am I getting so emotional right now about this? Is it because there's something that truly is evil and wrong and bad out in the world? Or is there something that's simply being threatened in myself that if I were to look at and observe objectively, I would find that there's actually an opportunity? There's some deep belief that I am not valuable, I am not capable, I am not lovable, I am not worthy, whatever it is, and this new creation, technology, or whatever is threatening that. This thing I don't fully understand is threatening that. Can I reflect on that? Can I be aware of my own insecurities? And now, you don't have to use AI ever. You don't ever have to use it for your artwork. But why are you wasting time getting mad at other people that are using it when it has nothing to do with you? When you do plenty of things that hurt the environment, when you use shortcuts to get things done quicker, and it's not wrong that you're doing it, it's just you've only got so much energy and so many hours in a day, right? And it was a lot quicker to drive there than it was to walk or take a bike. Why are you judging other people for doing what they're doing when they're really not hurting anyone? Not any more than you are. Focus on yourself. If you don't want to use AI, don't use it. You don't have to be for it or against it. It could just be, okay, cool, there are some people out there. And you never know. There might be a time where you're inspired to try it out. And at the very least, when I posted the plastic toy 3D model of myself, I wasn't taking anyone's job. I wasn't profiting off of anyone's, hard work. I was simply having some fun with AI. And here's the thing, you can be a talented artist and still have fun with AI and still use AI to help you create a travel plan, to write a shopping list for groceries or to get recipes. In fact, if you're using Google these days, you're using AI anyway. So if you want to completely remove yourself from AI, you pretty much have to completely unplug from the internet and technology in general. I don't know that you're going to do that. Now, if you do, more power to you. Great. But for everyone else that ain't going to do that, I think learning to live with AI and embracing what it does have to offer and letting other people do their thing with it, is going to be the best way to go because it's not going away anytime soon. So that's my spiel on AI. I hope that's helpful. I just felt like this was something worth talking about. And I want to hear from you. If you disagree with me or you feel strongly in some other way or you have some other perspective to share, by all means, share it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Any just like blatant like hate or booing or negativity without anything to kind of back it up, like, sure, I'll take the engagement. Like, I'm fine with that. But like, why are you, don't you have something better to do with your day than waste your time booing someone for enjoying something or talking about something that doesn't have any impact on you at all whatsoever? Maybe you don't. Maybe that's just what you need. So, all right. I hope to hear from you. And if you did find this helpful, I'd love to hear, if you had a perspective shift or something that really, changed the way you were looking at AI or tattooing in general. And with that, I wish you all the best. Have a great day. All right, if you found this episode helpful, one of the best ways for you to help other artists is to share this episode. Leave a review and subscribe. It helps other people find my channel, and you never know what a difference it might make for someone else. Plus, I will forever be grateful for your support, so I just want to say thank you and have a great rest of your day.